Hello everyone, a very hungover Shroomraver here, and today I'm excited to bring you my Week 9 battle in the Pokemon Premier League, yes indeed. Now, we are sitting at the top of the table going into this battle. It's getting towards the end of the season, things are looking real close. If ever it was important not to lose, it is now. And it's gonna be hard, because today my battle is against the Miami Rotom-Heat. Now managed by interim manager Jedi Cardet. He's a good friend of mine. His links of course will be down in the description below. Along with Ethan's Erasthamus Gaming, he was the former coach of the Miami Rotom-Heat. He's had to temporarily sort of step back from the PPL for IRL things. So we're up against Jedi Cardet. Now both of these guys, very canny trainers. They know what they're doing. They often run unconventional stuff. So it's going to be tough, you know. The Miami Rotom-Heat's draft, it ran out of money quite early on, but you know, Ethan was able to salvage what's actually turned into a very good team, and you know, both managers have done very well with it. So let's go down the Miami Rotom-Heat's draft at the beginning of this game. Or rather, before the game. It was Mega-Lopunny, Talonflame, Klefki, Keldeo, Gligar, Fortress, Yanmega, Ditto, Lapras, Haunter, and Poliwrath. Now, both that and my team have changed a little bit. So first, I'll go over my change to my team, because once again, you might be able to notice a new face on the screen. There was one of a few real issues that I was going to face going up against the Miami Rotom-Heat, and that's Keldeo. My team had nothing to deal with Keldeo. So when it came down to getting something to deal with it, you know, I was going to have to drop a member of my team. And, you know, unfortunately, Noivern was lacking somewhat. It hadn't really done anything, it hadn't had a chance to. It's only been on the field for one turn, I believe, and it's already gone. I was going to try and get in Slowking. Deals with Keldeo very well. However, just before that, I decided to propose a trade with Slyro of the Pittsburgh Pyroar, and he agreed to trade my Noivern for his Tentacruel. Tentacruel takes on Keldeo very well indeed, and so I added Tentacruel to the team. Hydrazoa is my Tentacruel, and yeah, brought in to deal with Keldeo. Now, other things I was really afraid of on the Miami Rotom-Heat roster: Talonflame, Klefki, and the Haunter, which Jedi has used very effectively already since beginning his tenure as interim manager. But Klefki was a problem. It meant I would have to bring one of my prankster users, and there was always the chance that Klefki would have magic coat and all kinds of nasty things would happen. And then Jedi dropped Klefki, and I was so relieved. He picked up Rotom-Heat, the team mascot as it were. But I wasn't so worried about that. Klefki was gone. I didn't have to deal with it. And that was so good. I was not looking forward to trying to deal with Klefki. So looking down the Miami Rotom-Heat roster, the things I was expecting: Mega-Lopunny, Talonflame, Rotom-Heat, Keldeo, Yanmega, maybe the Gligar or the Fortress. So, let's take a look at the team I brought to deal with that. So, first up, of course, going from left to right across the screen, we have Mega-Gallade. Yep, captain's back. This time I'm running a few moves I haven't run on it before. It's a jolly nature, as always. Drain Punch, Zen Headbutt, Fire Punch, Ice Punch. You know, Fire Punch and Ice Punch, they hit the Miami Rotom-Heat Walling Core very hard indeed. Gligar and Fortress have 4 times weaknesses to those moves. So I was looking forward to using them. It would be helpful to have Gallade to sort of break those walls. Zen Headbutt hits a lot of the team very hard. He's got several fighting types that he could turn to, and Drain Punch is just there to get back that health. The plan was, I was rather hoping to lead with Mega-Gallade, and for the Miami Rotom-Heat Jedi to lead with Mega-Lopunny, because the temptation to lead with Mega-Lopunny and to go fake out is very high, but Mega-Gallade gets in a focus. So I wouldn't flinch, and I could just bop it with a Drain Punch. That was the plan. We'll have to see if it worked out that way. So, second up, I brought the debutant Hydrazoa. This is a max HP, max defense assault vest set, just there to take as many physical hits as it needs to, and to deal with the Keldeo at the same time. Rocking out with Scald, Dazzling Gleam, Giga Drain, and Rapid Spin. It's the first time I've had a spinner on the team, which is very nice. The job of Tentacruel: spin away the rocks, deal with Keldeo, and act as fodder if needs be. So, third up I went with Zapdos. Ibra, my Zapdos. This is a Scarf set, 208 in HP, 160 in special attack, 140 in speed. What these EVs allow me to do is outspeed the Talonflame. I needed to be Scarfed and outspeed the Talonflame. This was how I was going to get rid of it, I thought, you know. Because I can take a Brave Bird, of course, and I'll outspeed it if he wants to go for something like Flare Blitz. Moves I'm rocking are Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Heat Wave, and Extra Sensory. Extra Sensory, as I've said before, Psychic type moves can hit the Rotom-Heat pretty hard, the Miami Rotom-Heat I should say. Plenty of fighting types, as I've mentioned before. Heat Wave, very useful for those bugs, and of course the Fortress. T-Bolt and Volt Switch, very much standard on a Scarf Zapdos. So the fourth member of the team is going to be Registeel. Yes, Thatcher is back. This is a fully specially defensive set. Stealth Rock, Thunder Wave, Rock Slide, and Iron Defense to just boost that defense as much as possible. You know, it can tank a lot of hits. Rock is a very nice typing to hit a lot of the Miami Rotom-Heat once again. You know, get the Stealth Rocks up, T-Wave the fast things. It can take hits very effectively, and it pretty much shuts down Yanmega and Haunter in case he wants to bring either of those. So, fifth up I have gone with Uxie. Uxie is back, it's another Calm Mind set. Max defense once again, Calm Mind, HP Fire, Psyshock, and Thunderbolt. Uxie shuts down Mega-Lopunny completely. There is nothing Mega-Lopunny can do to an Uxie. I don't think... can it 3-hit KO? I think Return might be able to 3-hit KO. I think it's got a chance to 3-hit KO. Uxie just completely stops Mega-Lopunny. Basically why I brought it. It's there to deal with Mega-Lopunny. And of course take the physical hits from Talonflame if it needs to. So, fourth member, I'm just going to move my sidebar so I can see my fourth member. Missing a move. Wonder what it was there. Anyway, we have got Meloetta. Meloetta is back with the Assault Vest. It's my standard set. Max HP, 92 special attack, 164 special defense. With the modest nature, we've got Psychic, Thunderbolt, Hidden Power Fire, and Focus Blast. In fact, actually, no, we do not have Hidden Power Fire. I wanted Hidden Power Fire, but of course, Meloetta very difficult to gen, being as it is that exclusive event thing. So I couldn't get HP Fire, but I had a lot of Fire-type attacks, so I thought I could deal with Fortress very well. So I've got Psychic, Thunderbolt, Hyper Voice, and I think I put Focus Blast on there, because I think that hit the Fortress hardest. You know, Meloetta I put on sort of last minute when I realised I didn't have too much to deal with the Rotom-Heat, but you know, Rotom-Heat only ever attack specially. Meloetta tanks those special hits, we've seen it before. Meloetta is a special tank, it just eats them up and says, please may I have another? And it can hit fairly hard. So, you know, that's my team, that's my sort of thought process going into this. Let's take a look at the team Jedi decided to bring. So, what we have, I'm looking down at my my DS to see what he brought. Usually I'd have the battle thing on screen, haven't quite got it recorded yet, we'll get around to that as soon as possible. We have Fortress, Gligar, Rotom-Heat, Mega-Lopunny, Keldeo, and Talonflame. Much of what I expected him to bring, no Haunter, and no Yanmega. So, you know, I was kind of confident about it. You know, he's got the Fortress and the Gligar, which Gallade can hit completely, very hard. Rotom can be dealt with. You know, Mega-Lopunny, I've got something to deal with that. Keldeo, I've recently got something to deal with that. Talonflame is going to be an interesting one, because if it's the banded set, then it might prove a bit of a problem. You know, if Uxie's not at good enough health, if it's taken on some hits, Talonflame could do some work, and once Uxie is gone, and, you know, Tentacruel, it's got max defense, but it's still not taking a Brave Bird particularly favourably. Its base defense, I think, is like 65 or something stupid low like that. But, you know, I was going into this match feeling fairly confident. You know, I was on a high from last week's victory. The Miami Rotom-Heat, I believe, lost their previous game, so I was feeling good about it. And knowing that I needed to keep the pressure up on the wins to keep my top spot, I was pretty motivated to win this battle as convincingly as possible. So, with that all said and done, let's get right into the battle now and see how things played out. So, gonna get into the battle right about now. It's a bit later, you may have noticed. I'm gonna lead with Mega-Gallade, hoping that Jedi's gonna lead with that Mega-Lopunny for the fake out, but he's a big user of Mega-Gallade. He knows all the tricks. He's pretty good with it as well, so he's not gonna fall for that. He's gonna lead with his Talonflame. I'm gonna make the switch into the Registeel in case he wanted to go for the Brave Bird, but he goes for the Will-O-Wisp, which I guess is a good thing because, you know, Thatcher's not meant to be an attacking thing, and it proves that he's not banded. So here, he reveals the Taunt, which I completely forgot that Talonflame gets access to. Means I don't get my rocks up either. So, it's not been the greatest of starts. He's in with his Talonflame, and Registeel can't really do much and is burnt. So, he's now going to reveal his third move, which is Overheat. However, this is specially defensive Registeel, so I'm actually going to take it fairly handily. And he's going to, of course, get that big special attack drop. And, you know, all Registeel can really do here is go for the Rock Slide as he reveals that he is Life Orbed. And this does a lot of damage. It's a crit, which is very unfortunate for Jedi, because it means that unless he has Roost, his Talonflame really isn't going to be looking good for the rest of the match. Especially if I can get Rocks up. That was desperately unfortunate to get that crit so early. So, he's going to withdraw his Talonflame. It's not looking too good for him. He's going to go into his Fortress as I pull a switch of my own. I'm going to go into Ibra, my Zapdos, and this is actually a really good matchup for me. I do, of course, pack the Heat Wave on this, and I was thinking about going for it, but I didn't want to overpredict. I just wanted to go for the Volt Switch, thinking he would switch out. And, you know, I could have taken the risk. It could have been Gligar, but he goes for the safe middle, which is Rotom, who's not going to be taking much from a Volt Switch anyway. So that was a fairly good switch for him, but I do have Meloetta, who can take any hit from this thing. Here, Jedi makes a bit of a misplay here, going for the Shadow Ball, forgetting about that normal typing, but I missed my Focus Blast, so really that was a bit of a non-entity of a turn. He is going to switch out here, go into Riley, that's his Gligar, as this time I just go for the Hyper Voice. And this is doing, you know, 20-25%, something like that, which isn't bad damage. Really, you know, not bad at all. I am going to make a very offensive switch here into my Gallade, as the Gligar goes for the Stealth Rocks. This is great because it means I can get my Mega off and try and hit something. Now here, I thought he'd break the Ice Punch and go into his Keldeo, make an offensive switch on his part. As it is, once again, he goes for a sort of safe middle ground, going into Fortress to take an Ice Punch. That'll take an Ice Punch fairly well as well. So as it is, predicting the Keldeo, I go for the Zen Headbutt. I get a crit here, which doesn't matter enormously, but you know, it might come into it depending on the Fortress's investment. Now I know he was a bit of an offensive one, but I do have the Fire Punch, of course, which I'm going to go for, and you know, maybe if I hadn't got the crit, he might have had just enough of a sliver of health to live that. As it is, down goes the Fortress, and so there's going to be no spikes at all on his side. Here comes the Talonflame. I have no interest staying in. I know he's got Willow. He might have the Brave Bird, and he does outspeed me naturally. So, gonna make my switch into Zapdos, who can take a Brave Bird and doesn't mind being burnt. And, you know, the latter is what happens. Talonflame going to go for that Will-O-Wisp, get the burn off on Zapdos, but again, as I say, Zapdos doesn't really mind. And if I can get rid of those rocks, I won't be taking as much residual either. So, Jedi's going to switch out. Once again, he's going to go into the Rotom. This time I go for the extra sensory, just in case he did want to go into the Gligar. It would mean at least that I could hit it. But, you know, I don't want to be staying in. Extra sensory not really doing too much to the Rotom. And so I'm just going to go into Meloetta. You know, it's my go-to switch. Whenever Rotom is in, I'm going into Meloetta. And he goes for the Thunderbolt. And, you know, it's not doing a lot to Meloetta. Meloetta is tanking that. So, he's going to switch on out of there with the Rotom. And once again, he's just going to go into his Gligar. As again, I go for the Hyper Voice. And I'm looking at it, and there's a chance. Is there a chance I can KO it from there? He lives on the tiniest sliver of health. And this time he is just going to go for the Roost. Now here I do have kind of thing he was rocking. He actually had a bit of attack investment in Stone Edge on this thing. I go for the Psychic here, trying to get that Spadef drop to make it easier to deal with this Gligar. But it's not going to work out for me. Serene Grace not pulling through, and he's going to go for the Roost and get back to a nice amount of health. So here, I once again am going to make a very offensive switch. And actually, no, it's not that offensive. I'm going into Hydrozoa, my Tentacruel, making its debut. As he's going to go for the Roost. I have to take the risk of Gligar having Earthquake, because what I actually think is going to happen is that I'll scare him out here. And what that allows me to do, as you see it does scare him out, is go for the Rapid Spin on the incoming Lopunny. And that's exactly what I do, going to go for the Rapid Spin, and that allows my Zapdos to come in much more freely. But don't want to be staying in, I am defensive, but this is a Mega-Lopunny, and I do have my switch for Mega-Lopunny. That of course being Pink Floyd, my Uxie. So, Mega-Lopunny is of course going to Mega Up, and you know, he has no reason not to go for the Fake Out at this stage. He doesn't lose anything by it. It was pretty more likely that I was going to switch out, but just in case, you know, he can go with the Fake Out. And it does laughable damage. Uxie just shrugs it off, completely not bothered by anything Mega-Lopunny can do. So Jedi knows there's no future in staying in here with Mega-Lopunny. He's going to go out into the Rotom, as I'm just going to go for a Psyshock here. And yeah, it's doing decent damage, but it's still not quite enough to be taking out the Rotom. He actually had a lot of HP investment on this to take some hits, and he had enough speed to outspeed Uxie with no investment. What he's going to do is make a very clever play here and go into his Mega-Lopunny, knowing that I'm going to switch out into Meloetta. It's been my go-to switch whenever Rotom's in. And it's a clever bit of play from him, clever double switching, but really it doesn't really gain too much, because I'm just going to go back into Uxie. I lose nothing by doing that. And Uxie is going to chew this high jump kick, doing, I think that was 39 damage, something like that. Getting back some HP with the leftovers. Uxie is not threatened by this Mega-Lopunny, not in the slightest. So at this point, Jedi's going to go back into the Rotom. I know that's coming, so I'm going to go for Calm Mind. That's going to allow me to take out the Rotom from the range of health it's at, and maybe be prepared for whatever comes in next. So Calm Mind is gone off. I'm going to get leftovers back. I do know this thing has the Shadow Ball. He's already revealed it, but you know, as I say, I went for that that Calm Mind. That does 50 points of damage to Uxie. It does get the special defense drop, which is unfortunate, really. It puts me back at neutral as I do take out the Rotom. But it means, as I say, I'm not at that range of health that I wanted to be at with a +1 to special defense. What this means is that Uxie's under threat from Keldeo, and Keldeo is exactly who comes in. I still need Uxie. I still need it for the Mega-Lopunny, so I'm going to make the switch into the Pokemon I got to deal with this Keldeo, that of course being Tentacruel. Hydro Pump comes in, and it does 40 points of damage, which is just a drop in the ocean. Reveals to me that he is Life Orb, and then he starts setting up Calm Minds, and now I'm starting to worry. Normally, Tentacruel will be absolutely fine taking on a Keldeo, but this is a Calm Mind variant, and that's a bit scarier. I actually went for the Scald here, predicting him to go out into the Talonflame, so that he could, you know, take maybe a Giga Drain. What happens is I get the Burn, which is fantastic, because Residual on a Calm Mind in Keldeo, that is the way to go. We like that. That is fantastic stuff for me. Really happy to get that Residual. So he's at +2 here. I'm just going to go for the Giga Drain, just to be at as much of a range of health as possible for when he inevitably does start attacking. I am pretty sure he's going to have a super effective hidden power, probably electric in case I brought Gyarados. And you know, it's looking like that's the way to go. He gets to +2 and starts to attack, but this is Assault Vest Tentacruel with massive special defense. I'm chewing that. I'm taking it. Fine. Gonna go for the Dazzling Gleam here, revealing that's my 4th move. I do get a crit. I don't know how much it matters, because Giga Drain was doing a nice chunk, and Dazzling Gleam did just a little bit more. So, you know, that might not have mattered, but it might. Anyway, in comes the Lopunny. Once again, I'm just going to go out into Pink Floyd. I have no reason to sack off Tentacruel just yet. It's still got its uses. So he's going to go for the Fake Out and do a nice clean 30 hit points to Pink Floyd the Uxie here, who's still looking really good. Now here, he goes for the Hail Mary Ice Punch. The only way he beats me is if he freezes me. He gets the freeze, but I get the first turn Thaw. I'm able to go for Psyshock and do like a clean 60% to this Mega-Lopunny. Very unfortunate for Jedi that the freeze didn't stick around. I was so close to raging a little bit when he got the freeze, but you know, I get the first turn Thaw. And Uxie lives to fight another day. So, in comes Gligar, who is now, of course, still at full health because of all that roosting. I'm going for Psyshock, and it does laughable damage to the Gligar. Gligar really doesn't fear anything Uxie's going to throw at it at this point. So I'm backed up to exactly half of my health, but can't stay in this Gligar. I'm going to switch out. Once again, here's the offensive switch into the Mega-Gallade, thinking that he's going to want to get his rocks up again, get residual on anything I bring in. So I've made the offensive switch, here's the offensive move. I don't care how defensive you are, Gligar, you are not taking an Ice Punch from a Mega-Gallade, that's for sure. So down goes the Gligar, and Mega-Gallade's done its job, taking care of the walls. But once again, it's that Talonflame has come in. I have no interest in staying in. Here's the point where I realise I should be sacking off Tentacruel. I actually do live the rock switching, which is quite entertaining. But 3 HP, obviously he's going to take me out from there. So, you know, down goes Tentacruel, but on debut, got a KO against the one it was supposed to, got a spin-off once, did its job. Great job by Tentacruel, doing exactly what I needed it to. So, Smogbird is not looking too healthy here, but it's coming to the end game, and I realise that Zapdos can clean up for me here. And so I'm going to bring in Zapdos. I take the Rocks damage. He's actually going to make a weird play here. He switches out into his Mega-Lopunny, which is an odd one, because I'm just going to go for a Thunderbolt and take him out. And given that this is a numbers game, he could have sacked off Talonflame and got the KO after burn with Fake Out if he had sacked off Talonflame earlier. But I'm not sure whether he knew I was scarfed or not, so maybe that was his thinking. I don't know. Either way, Zapdos is going to outspeed, as I say, because of that scarf. Gonna drop a big old T-Bolt on Talonflame's head here, and yeah, that is going to be the game, a nice 5-0. So, as I just pause that very quickly, as I say, that is going to be the game. Great game, Jedi. You know, I think I just prepared quite well for this one. I had the things I needed. Big shout out to Slowro for agreeing to the trade to give me Tentacruel. If I didn't have Tentacruel, Keldeo was going to be a problem, a massive thorn in my side. But, you know, the things I brought for specific tasks, they carried them out very effectively. Mega-Gallade was there to take care of the walls. It took care of the walls. Meloetta was there to take hits from Rotom. It took hits from Rotom. Same thing for Uxie against the Mega-Lopunny. Tentacruel, of course, against the Keldeo. Zapdos was there for the late game, and it did just that. Unfortunately, Registeel was unable to function properly, but, you know, there's always going to be one thing that doesn't work quite right on the team. But, as I say, thank you very much to Jedi Cardet for the game. Definitely go and check him out. His links, of course, will be down in the description below. He's a good friend of mine. He's a fantastically good battler. He's very canny and savvy with what he does. He's a bit of a tricksy one. Runs some odd sets now and then. He's also a very good VGC player. I believe he was at Nationals of late? He was at some form of VGC competition lately anyway. But as I say, definitely do go and check out Jedi Cardet. I'll also put Erasmus Gaming's links in the description below. He was of course the one who drafted for the Miami Rotom-Heat before unfortunately having to step back earlier on in the competition. Also, down below in the description will be the links to the PPL, Twitter and YouTube. You know, do go and check them out to keep up to date with all things PPL on the YouTube channel. You'll find the Meet the Managers videos. You'll be able to see everyone who's involved, check out all their battles, and you know, it's just there for all your PPL needs. Definitely go and check out those links. But that is going to be it from me and this video. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed. Next week, we face off against Titos and Sport Lisbon Brafica. Titos hasn't had the best of seasons, unfortunately, but that is not to say I will be underestimating him. He's an excellent battler in his own right. He's got some powerful threats on his team. There are no easy games in this league, and by no means is Titos a pushover. By no means am I going to be taking him lightly. I can't afford to lose any games. We are going for the top. You know how it is. Keep supporting Parasect Germain, guys. We are going for the top. My final thank you for watching, and I guess with that, I will see you next time. Laters.